Hello there. Relations between Mali and Germany are extremely tense, and that could be of use to one person in particular, Kremlin chief Vladimir Putin. For almost 10 years, the Bundeswehr, the German army, has been stationed in the Saar state of Mali, which is affected by violent extremism and abject poverty. The German participation in the UN-led Blue Helmet operation MINUSMA is intended to protect the Malian civilian population, or at least that was the plan. But now the mission is on the brink. The Bundeswehr mission has been on hold since Friday due to disagreements with the Malian government. Mali is a country on the brink. Islamist militias have been trying for 10 years to turn the Sahel state into a staging area for jihadism. Socially and ethnically charged conflicts exacerbate instability. Since 2013, however, international troops, including the Bundeswehr, have been trying to stop the Islamists. But the hope for stabilization did not materialize. Democracy in Mali collapsed. Since 2021, military putschists have ruled under interim President Assimi Goïta. They refuse to return to democracy, turn away from their Western partners, and seek closeness to Russia. Mali is no longer a reliable partner for Germany. Should Germany finally withdraw the Bundeswehr from Mali, new problems of a strategic nature would arise. Should other Western countries also withdraw from Mali and the mission end in this way, this would inevitably be seen as another strategic defeat for the West. That would be a geopolitical victory for Russia, said the head of the office of the Konrad Adenauer Foundation in Mali's capital Bamako. And he said that to the AFP news agency. Against the background of growing tensions between European states and Mali, Russia is expanding its relation with the West African state. President Vladimir Putin discussed deliveries of food, fertilizer and fuel in a telephone call with acting Malian Prime Minister Assimi Goïta on Wednesday. That's what the government in Moscow said. Goïta tweeted that Russia's support for the current political transition had been discussed. Yeah, autocrats don't have a problem with dictators. Moscow could fill the void left by withdrawal of Western troops in Mali. Tensions also increased due to the military junta's cooperation with the Russian mercenary group Wagner, which is said to have close ties to the Kremlin and is suspected of committing massive human rights violations. In this context, a confidential UN report caused a stir. According to this, soldiers on behalf of the Malian government apparently massacred more than 30 civilians. You might have seen my video on this. The document was available to the German press agency at that time. In it, the perpetrators are described as white soldiers. The Wagner mercenary group is not named directly, but according to the German press agency information, there is no doubt that the experts believe the soldiers described by witnesses to be members of Wagner. Not least because the type of rope used in the crime is known from Russian military stocks. The incident took place in early March in central Mali on the border with Mauritania. On these 2 days, 6 locations in the region were attacked by Malian forces. The white soldiers appeared near a well-frequented fountain in the morning of March 5th. The soldiers rounded up the men and older boys, tied their hands behind their backs, and blindfolded them. They were then rounded up in the village center, and also the surrounding houses were looted, according to witness statements. After that, the soldiers began beating the tied people with heavy sticks, while other men blocked the doors of the houses for the women and children inside. They could only hear the screams of the men as they were beaten. 33 or 34 of them, including 29 Mauritanians and 4 Malians, were abducted. They were found shot and burned 4 kilometers away a day later. Similar looting also took place in other affected towns in the region. Those white soldiers first landed on 2 of them with a helicopter. However, the witnesses could not have identified any of the perpetrators. According to the United Nations, there is an alarming increase in the number of civilians killed in Mali. From January 1st to March 31st alone, 543 bystanders were killed. The military coup and the presence of Russian mercenaries call into question one of the Bundeswehr's most important goals, namely to support Mali on its way to stability and the rule of law. There is no lack of reasons for ending the deployment of the Bundeswehr at the moment, unfortunately. Recently, the junta has also openly harassed the country. It refused launch permits for reconnaissance drones and overflight rights for Bundeswehr aircraft. That's why around 110 Bundeswehr soldiers are currently stuck in Mali, whose deployment is actually over. 140 soldiers who were supposed to relieve them cannot enter the country. And the situation is complex, and the Malian government is sending confusing signals. According to the German Federal Ministry of Defense, Mali's Defense Minister Sadio Kamara only promised his German colleague last Thursday that the Bundeswehr could work without additional requirements. The next day, the Bundeswehr was refused the relief flight. Berlin responded by suspending the entire mission. The decision to suspend impairs the further MINUSMA mission. It practically paralyzes the mission, says Saal expert Lessing. The federal government did not have a really good option there. And German spokesman Steffen Hebestreit made it clear on Friday, such an operation only makes sense if it's supported by the government there. And German Defense Minister Lambrecht criticized on Twitter, Kamara's actions speak a different language than his words. And as devastating as it will be, and as a bad sign as it will be, if the government is not taking part in this, you have to leave. And I'm not only talking about the Bundeswehr. You can't do anything, and you cannot interfere with the governments of a sovereign country. And if they don't want to work with you, don't stay where you're not welcomed. And I'll see you in my next video. I'll be back.